Hi, rituals have been with us for a very long time. We go way back, but some of us associate rituals with religion and therefore feel like we don't want anything to do with it. That's because the secular and the sacred in our society has been divided. But sacred rituals are incredibly not only possible, not only here for us whenever we want to dive into this kind of exploration, but they bring depth and meaning to our lives. So let's explore a little bit of that and think about the ways that rituals can help us feel more connected. Now, all of us do rituals in one way or another, even if it's just the way that you make your coffee every morning. That's a ritual. It's it's a simple thing, and it can also be an elaborate, creative, artistic process. So I'm Hagar. Welcome to Mama Mandala. This is where magic is somatic because magic is somatic. Transformation happens in the body. For ritual and magic and ceremony, you don't need anything but yourself and your body and your attention and your intention. You can bring a lot of things with you into a ritual. You can bring sacred smoke to burn, as long as we do that in a way that respects other cultures and respects the earth. We can bring candles, you can bring objects, you can bring symbolism, but rituals can be as simple as tuning to your breath and showing up to yourself and to your body, because your body is a divination tool. It is. When you are grounded and your nervous system is regulated, your intuition is lit up. It's because intuition and our instincts are kind of one and the same in many ways. They overlap. They are woven together. There's some differences that we can explore some other time, but intuition is very much rooted in instincts. And our instincts can be trusted when our nervous system is regulated. When our nervous system is not regulated and we are hypervigilant and we are dealing with trauma that triggers all kinds of reactions, even when there isn't any danger, then we can't really trust ourselves. So doing practices that help regulate our nervous system, that's rituals that happen somatically in your body that can make a huge difference in your life. Do you want to try one with me? This is super simple. I do this all the time. I have to use this because the stress of the everyday gets to me. So I do this several times a day. So let's do this. Bring your left hand over your heart and your right hand over your belly. I'm not mirroring you, so just for a moment, hold the left hand over your heart, your right hand over your belly. You can do this standing or seated, and allow your eyes to soften. You don't even have to close your eyes. And tune your awareness with your breath. And notice what the breath is telling you. So immediately my breath responded, and I took a deeper breath. Notice what yours is doing. And when you're ready, begin to breathe more deeply into your belly and make your belly big with your inhalation. So expand your belly into your hand as you breathe in. And allow your breath to simply soften your belly back. Breathe in and blow the balloon of your belly as you inhale. And breathe out and allow your belly to soften as you exhale. And do that again. One more time. Deep breath in. Expand your belly all the way. Hold it for just a moment and exhale slowly. Let it out. And you can release your arms and notice how you feel in your body. So I feel a lot more grounded right now. Just 3 slow, long, deep breaths with awareness create a shift. That's a ritual that's effective, that's grounded in science, because our vagus nerve has so many branchings through in our throat and in our heart and in our belly, in our digestive system. And when we regulate the vagus nerve, our whole system becomes regulated. The nervous system can feel like it can you can slow things down. Your heart rate slows down. So that's magic. That's magic that's rooted in reality. It's not something outside of you. It's not something that is not in this realm of reality. And we can do rituals that connect us with other realms. And for some of us who are atheist and secular, that's where the questioning starts to happen. That's where I always question, well, what is another realm? Do I believe in another realm? And if we take away the need to believe, then we can open up the imagination. And the imagination and the intuition are also deeply woven. So our instincts and our imagination and our intuition are woven together. The lines are blurry. You can actually feel and sense that you're hearing something, that you are receiving messages from something that isn't necessarily physically here. And you start to question it. And the questioning allows the imagination to pour in. Instead of it becoming, oh, then it doesn't exist, and you just cancel it and you discount it, it can become a way for you to have a relationship with your creativity. So it doesn't have to be something that's rooted in belief. It can be something that's rooted in your openness as an imaginative, creative, muse-filled person in this world, that when we allow ourselves to enchant it, when we allow ourselves to play and be whimsical in how we are interacting with ourselves and with the world around us, things can become lighthearted, but also deeply meaningful, right? There is depth that we can root ourselves into when we open ourselves up to the sacredness of life. But it can happen through a playfulness, an openness, a conversation rather than dogma, a questioning rather than a certainty. And I love rituals because of what I just showed you with the nervous system. It's just ways for me to get more grounded, to have my body connect to my environment. Because what's wonderful about this is that on the one hand, rituals, when they're done in that secular kind of a way, can anchor us in, not in a bad way, in individualism, but then we want to be careful of the shadow of that, because individualism, we've seen it in our culture. We see the brutality of capitalism. We see what's going on. We see the way that individualism has caused a lot of harm, but it's also not something we want to, again, throw away. There's value in being deeply rooted in your individuation, and to always remember, to always bring ourselves, to always weave ourselves with something greater than ourselves. And that greater thing doesn't have to be, I'll use that word, God, if you don't believe in such a thing. It can be your community. It can be your family, something bigger than you. Doing something for the sake of something greater than you can be doing something that you wouldn't do if you didn't do it for your kids. That brings depth and meaning. That can be a grounding force. And speaking of kids, so one of the places for me in my life is as a householding yogi, as a householding witch. I sometimes fall very deeply into the experience of the mundane. It's another day where I get up and I make the food and I send them to school and then I work and then I go pick them up and then I come back and then I clean the kitchen and I make dinner and I clean the kitchen again. The life as a mundane experience can be so exhausting and lack juice and lack meaning and depth. So rituals can become a way to anchor ourselves and remind ourselves of how powerful life is and of how powerful we are, both as the person that you are as an individual and as we are together as a society and what we can create as a society. So I've engaged very deeply in rituals since becoming a mom. Small rituals that I throw around the day because I need it, because I forget the sacredness. And I need personally, and maybe you will relay, I need the feeling of sacredness. I need to remember that my body and my life are temples. I want to work as a priestess in the temple of my life. But when I make the food and I clean up, I forget the sacredness. So just lighting a candle or burning sacred smoke, as long as we do that in a respectful way of other cultures and of the earth, burning sacred smoke is a great way to create a bit of a liminal space. The smoke comes on. It connects you to the moment through scent, right? We can do that right now. So I light mugwort as one of my favorite these days. It opens up, they say. And again, I don't take that literally, but I think, okay, this is a way. The teachings say that it opens up the doorway between the dreaming and the waking world. And actually, I've experienced very deep dreaming, lucid dreamings when drinking mugwort tea. So this allows me to know that I'm going into a more dreamy space. And if I need that, if I need to blur a little bit of the lines to open up my imagination, if I'm writing something, this is really helpful. It's just one moment. I light it up, I smell it, I breathe it, and again, the breath connects me to my body, and here we are. Right, so simple things, we can do simple things. It doesn't need to be huge, but it can be, if we want it to be, elaborate and wildly artistic and creative. Ritual helps us mark thresholds of time. So a new year, a new season, a new moon, a full moon, every morning, every night. Rituals help us mark the time. And for humans over history, this has been a very important part of how we live our lives as a society, right? Because it gives us something that connects us, again, to something greater than ourselves. And it doesn't have to be something that is out there, and I'll use that word if I'm not crazy about it, but the word woo-woo, right? It doesn't have to be woo-woo. It can be very grounded and real for you. There is a moon up there in the sky. It does shift and change according to our perspective. I always think of the way that the moon, the phases of the moon, like there's a relationship between the phases within ourselves, the phases of our lives, the phases of the tides of our hormones. That there's a deep relationship between the moon and our bodies. And I think of the way that this can sound really out there, but especially when I think, well, the moon is always full. We just don't see it. It's full, but from our perspective, it changes. And this perspective that we have here from Earth of the moon as it changes its phases is real. And the phases of the moon affect the tides. So I love, for myself, again, as an atheist, as a secular, as someone who's questioning, I love to ground it in pieces that keep it not just out there as in metaphorical world, but really. But in reality, that really helps me. I don't know if for you that kind of does the trick, but it helps a lot. Rituals help to bring meaning to the everyday life. They help when I'm feeling really disconnected and frustrated with myself, with my kids, and really stressed, taking a moment with a mantra or a mudra, because I'm a yogi. I've been a yogi for 20 something. How many? 20 something years, 22 years. Whoa. So doing a mudra and a mantra, or doing 5 sun salutations, that's a ritual that helps me shift the experience and open myself up to a new energetic flow, right? The most powerful part of a secular ritual is our intention. It's what we bring to it. It's what we're generating. It's what we're strengthening our vessel in order to receive. It's connecting to the person that we want to be, to who we want to be as we receive the whole of life. So intentionality is the core, rather than the belief, rather than the dogma, rather than the certainty, rather than the repetition that becomes meaningless sometimes when you think of certain. Not all, I get it. I'm not trying to bash religion, just a little bit, but not too much, because I want to respect other ways. My way is not the right way. That's the whole point, right? Dogma tells us that this is the way. There's so many ways. There's so many different things that we can engage in order to live a meaningful life. So our intentionality is powerful. It's a powerful tool. And if you don't know your intention, here's another way for you to connect to it. There's a mudra, there's a hand gesture from the yoga tradition. So it comes from India. And it's a mudra of intentionality, the mudra of intention, sankalpa. There's a broader meaning to this, and we can do that another time. But you can place, if you're seated, you can bring your left hand through your heart and then place your left hand on your right thigh. I'm not mirroring you, and I'm not seated. But if you're seated, you can put your left hand, you can bring it through your heart and place it on your right thigh, and then bring your right hand to clasp your hands together and let them rest on your right thigh. And if you don't know what your intention is for a ritual, this is a ritual to create your ritual. So if you want to figure out why you're even doing what you're doing, you can take this mudra and sit with it for just a few moments, a few minutes. And mudras they're so beautiful. They are feminine encoded. It's not a gender thing, but they're feminine encoded. So they're receptive into the mudra you receive, but they're generative. And what they generate is what you want to receive into them. So you can think, contemplate, feel into what is my intention? What do I need right now? What do I need for the ritual? What am I calling? And sit with Sankalpa Mudra and let it come into the vessel that is in your hands and in your mind, heart, right? So that's just another way and another little trick for you. So if you want to explore this a little bit more deeply, I actually created a free ritual guide for the secular soul, and I'll drop that in the description of the video so you can grab it. I'll have a link for you. It's 36 pages. It's quite elaborate, but also simple enough. There's some ideas that we explore there. There's some examples. There's 5 different rituals that you can try. I love it, and it's free. So go ahead and grab it from the description of this video, and I hope you really enjoy it. And this will help you to connect a little bit more to this idea of secular rituals, of sacred secularism, and ground yourself in ritual if that's something that you're craving but feeling a little bit hesitant about because of the association that you have with it. So I am so grateful to be able to share this space with you and to be able to explore this with you, because again, when I was little, I thought of myself as a witch. But then when I was getting older and I identified more with my the atheist parts of my identity, and being an intellectual really still matters to me. I disconnected myself from that part of me. But then I wove it together again, because there's this great, powerful reclamation of the witch archetype and archetypes. We can explore that. You can check that out in the ritual guide, and also in an essay that I work. I'll leave a link for you for this essay too, exploring a little bit of the archetypes as a tool for your ritual creation. But the archetype of the witch is now deeply rooted in feminism, in breaking up and dismantling the patriarchy. So archetypes can also shift and change with the culture. So sacred rituals are now embraced by many witches, by many people that identify as a witch, people that are feeling turned off by religion, particularly because most religions are patriarchal in our world today. And so this is a way to recreate who we are on a personal level and as a society, right? To have a toolkit of rituals that help you recreate who you are. So I'm grateful to be able to do this with you, because one of the powerful gifts of ritual is that it grounds us in a sense of community, in a sense of belonging. And I'd love to know if there are any rituals that you already practice in your life, if there's these simple yet meaningful things that you do in order to connect yourself very deeply to the sacred. And tell me about it in the comments of this video, because I really would love to hear from you. And if you want to learn more about myth and secular living, but in a sacred way, and ritual and somatic magic, which we do on this channel through yoga and breathwork and mudra and mantra, I'd love for you to subscribe to this channel. So please do. And if you like this video, put a like on it. And I'm leaving a lot of different things for you in the description of this video. Would love to see you also on Substack, where I'm sharing Muse medicine every Monday, dropping it in, inspired and infused with myths. So there's a lot going on, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. So thank you so much for joining me, and can't wait to connect again soon. All right, take care.